But it's cool to me that both of them approach the mandatory minimum sentencing and the over-incarceration problem. They both see it as a problem, one worthy of discussion and one with a similar solution of freeing the nonviolent offenders. It gives you more capacity in your jails for the real bad guys, and focus your law enforcement efforts on things that really are worthwhile, and not so much of this stupid top-down mandatory minimum, take the decision away from the judge kind of thing.
Well, and that reminds me that not only did Rand Paul in this speech use examples and stories, like the 3 young black men who were standing at a corner and were told to move on and didn't because they were waiting for a bus to take them to their game, and they were arrested for that. I mean, that sort of thing is very powerful when people hear that. And,
right.
and even people who've never had, never seen racial discrimination in their life can relate to that, can understand that. But at the same time, if you saw the John Stossel show that he put on last weekend about privacy,
fabulous, by the way, that was fabulous.
He's talking about the same things.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about the mandatory minimums, and he got on with Lise Will from Fox News about why mandatory minimums she thought were great. And it's because it gives the power to the prosecutors. Well, do you want that? Do you really want that? There's some advocacy that you expect out of a prosecutor for public safety and whatnot, but really it's a club. It's a weapon. It's not. Mandatory minimums are just made to make a prosecutor's job easier. And there's a whole bunch of arguments for and against that people will make. But the fascinating thing is that this is getting play in the culture. Can you find anybody in media that's more well-liked and trusted than John Stossel? Really? I think it's fabulous that we have messengers, not just Rand Paul out there doing it politically, but John Stossel picking it up media-wise. And being a consumer reporter for so long, people have he's got a lot of goodwill built up, and people really like and respect him. And when he says the same things, it's easier, I think, to get conservatives around making those same arguments.
Well, particularly since it will be conservatives arguing against policies that they pushed for 30 and 40 years ago. And it can be an example of us saying, look, we thought it was a great idea, we were wrong, and we need to undo that which we pushed for. And we know that there are a lot of judges and a lot of senators, John Cornyn, that got their elected position on the backs of mandatory minimums and tough on crime. And we know that the stereotype of the conservative politician is, I'm tough on crime and I'm going to throw everybody in prison forever and throw away the key. But hey, guys, we've looked at. We now have statistics. We now have results of it. We can see, and the facts don't bear it out. And the facts are, we've got an awful lot of people incarcerated who should not be. And we need to put the decisions back in the hands and the judgment in the hands of the judge.
I'll take responsibility for supporting those kinds of laws in the past, and that's seems to be like a natural thing that people do. They find something they don't like, and they say we need a law to prevent that. And then you find out afterwards that the law you created is applied with a blanket approach and causes much more problems than what you were trying to resolve, and it's so unfair to certain people because you have created such laws.
Well, and we get this in our lives. Can anyone say zero tolerance policy?